Hello, hello.
Hey,
How are you today?
good. Love the hat. You're
Why,
always
thank
on
you.
point, always on point with the headgear. Always.
It's fun to have, little things here and there. We'll see what type of attendance we get today.
Yeah, we're winding down. This is my last meeting of my last day. So,
Mine too.
The one thing that I thought might be worthwhile discussing a little bit further from the issues list is the GitHub security best practice guide and kind of like what the next steps are for that, and that kind of deal.
Yeah, that and the C guide, the compiler options. I think if we can find a volunteer or two to kind of lead the Google document, I think we can ideally make progress on those and maybe get something rolling before the end of next quarter. I think like the compiler thing, I don't think would be too hard. We probably could get done Q1. The repo best practices guide might be a little more challenging. Just depends on how many folks we get to want to participate. Hey, Christy.
All right.
We'll give it a few minutes and see who else is still working.
Also, Crow, while I've got your attention, I don't know whether you saw my notes in the Slack, the W3C Slack. Right. Okay. So I managed to talk to Andrew. What's his name from OWASP?
Okay.
Sorry.
Andrew, the OWASP guy.
Yeah.
Fair.
The ED of OWASP, right? Okay, fancy man. And that OWASP is on board with a kind of W3C
Nice.
joint workshop thing. So that's good. And then also I managed to find a venue in London in April. I've got them on hold for 2 sets of 2-day event. So I reached out to Microsoft Reactor, who I know the people there. I reached out to Microsoft Reactor just on a whim. I thought, well, I might as well, reach out to them. And they're like, yeah, we'd love to. And we'll put these dates on hold for you in April. So we have 2 dates in April on hold, the 12th and 13th and the 25th and 26th. I'm kind of leaning towards the 25th and 26th at this point. And that's the current state of things. But the complication is that, so Microsoft Reactor Space can hold 100 people. The complication is they want it to be open rather than a kind of closed invite list. So I think we might be able to do something that achieves both goals. Like, so the program committee invites the people to present at the event, and then we open it up to members of the community who are interested for the remaining seats, basically. And then I think we've got a thing, and they can give us coffee and stuff like that. We'd still have to arrange catering, but basically they all the basic stuff, space and coffee and stuff like that is taken care of. And they're in East London. It's a nice venue too. Yeah. So
thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's kind of good stuff. But so I'm going to try to set up a kind of with the OWASP, the people that Andrew has pointed me to. I'm going to try and set up a call for the first week of Jan, when it won't be on Monday, because Monday and Tuesday are off days anyway, right? But we might be the following week, might be the following
Okay.
Monday when we do that.
That'd be great. Yeah, and I think from there we can get the kind of the call for paper
Yes.
more refined and kind of targeted, and then
Exactly. Once we've got a date, once we've got, that right. So I just want to I posted some details in the Slack.
Okay.
I'll reach
take a
out
look
to
after.
Dom as well and let him know, because it has to run according to W3C workshop rules. So I want to make sure that it, he's kind of in the loop and
Sure.
that kind of thing. So yeah.
Okay. Nice. Cool. Well, I think it's just going to be the three of us today. I didn't have anything specific. For next year, I will probably put a cattle call out for a day and time, and probably do maybe quarterly APAC calls. So again, for Dan, now not quite as interesting, but maybe Christine might be able to participate. We'll see. But we'll probably do maybe like a once a quarter call with like an Australia friendly time zone, and kind of see what we get. And
Okay.
I'll put a call out to the mailing list to see what kind of interest we get. It may be Japan or China, India. I don't know exactly where the time will fall, but if we get some interest, we will set up kind of a quarterly call in there, something that's more friendly to those folks. Let us talk about issue 102.
Okay.
That is the GitHub best practices issue we have. So said you had some thoughts, Dan?
The only thing was that somebody else, Lauren,
Yeah.
said, I'm interested in helping out. And that was 3 days ago. And, so I kind of put some notes into it. It feels to me like there's some existing document, right? So like what I just wanted to check on, kind of from your perspective, what does the process look like? Like it feels to me like if the people that are proposing this, then from
Legit
right.
security, or
right, if they are okay with the proposal, which is to genericize where possible, as I put it, right, so that we don't end up with a GitHub guide, but we end up with a software repositories guide that has specific language and links in it to where possible, but is not like but is trying to uphold this vendor neutrality thing. Then it feels to me like the next step is for them to actually contribute what they've done, and to have it sitting as a markdown file in the OpenSSF best practices repo that we can then start iterating on. And so I just don't know how that happens, right? Because
I think that's a good approach. I can reply back to Noam was the gentleman who's kind of leading that. So right. I will suggest for him to do that. We'll make a folder that we can start to stage things on. And then, so like there could be a statement. It's a generally accepted best practice to have multi-factor authentication. And then you could have examples of here's how to do it in GitHub, here's how to do it in GitLab, here's how to do it, blah, 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 underneath.
Did we answer the question that was in the comment, which was asking, how do you handle the SCM specific features? I might have missed that.
We have not had that conversation yet, so no.
Okay.
But that'll be, and so Laurent, he's the leader of the scorecards team. So he's part of the working group. Good dude from Google. So I'll get Noam to post that and we will assemble a squad of people that are interested in focusing in on that. And we can hopefully run it in parallel with like the compilers and whatever else we dream up to do in 2023.
And I've already put my hat in the ring to be on that squad, which is why
Awesome.
I'm interested in this topic. So yeah, so please keep me in the loop and let me know how I can help out on that.
Okay.
I'm, you know, I can edit Markdown.
Hooray!
Can edit Markdown, will travel, basically.
Well,
Yeah, SCM
This would
specific
be
features.
this would be an
So I
interesting
think-
one to work.
ahead.
Sorry, I was
No,
saying
no.
this one would be an interesting one to work on as well. So
okay. Awesome.
yeah.
It'll be much easier once it's in a delightful markdown file.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah, I was
talked
just-
to, please go ahead.
No, because I was just like browsing through as part of the open source program office at F5. There's some of the things that we're thinking about related to organization policy specific for GitHub, but it was interesting. Some of the feedback we've had related to one of the recommendation is to turn on single sign-on for GitHub. But one of the feedback we got is there might be complications related to if you are of GDPR and being in Europe that you need to be aware of. So even though it's like a security, it might be a security best practice, there's other things related to privacy can conflict with that.
And I bet if we had specific questions about that, we could talk to Xavier from GitHub. He should be very familiar with GDPR.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
I have some experience working with that stuff as well, and I could be happy to be a part of that discussion. Yeah.
Okay.
I can see, yeah, exactly. These are the this is the devil in the details type stuff, right? You know,
Mhm.
like also people are going to debate about whether two-factor authentication, whether a SMS-based two-factor authentication is enough or whatever, or that kind of thing. You know, there's like we're going to need to have those discussions. So,
Well, our friends at GitHub are turning that on for sure. Not SMS based, but they're turning on 2FA in 2023, which inspired me to get my little token out to get that set up.
oh yeah, yeah.
But my boggle is I got this from the foundation. It's a USB-C, and unfortunately on my laptop it butts up against my docking station cable, so I can't get my fingers around it to authenticate it. So I need to get a little hub, a little dongle.
This thing is USB. When I got one of these, I just bought it from YubiKey, right? Like last year, because I wanted to start testing out web authentication, basically, where you know, because you can on so this has USB-C and it also has NFC. So you can like if you're this actually works, and it worked. I was so impressed when I got this. I tried it out and it works on iOS, and it also works on Samsung Internet on which is the company I was working for before. It works on the Samsung browser on Samsung phones. It's just transparent. You kind of rub the key, you know, you say, yeah, I want to use an NFC key, and then you just rub it around on the back of the case, and it works. You know, it's like, wow.
I have one of the
browser
older,
without any
crazy.
additional like software available. So it's quite good. Yeah.
I had one of the thumbprint YubiKeys for a long time. I can't find it. It didn't make the office move. It's somewhere in a box, I imagine, but that's pretty cool. I like that. I might have to think about picking one of those up.
Yeah, and it's cheap. It was like relatively cheap. Anyway. Yeah.
Yes, they are. And I was
what-
mentioning, I was talking to the internal Intel people for the education SIG, how they're going to be donating content. And I know one of the pieces of training they have put together is around C and C+ best practices, and I believe compiler options. So I asked David internally to kind of bump that up on the list, that maybe we can get a sneak peek of that. And that potentially might help us kind of jumpstart Wheeler's other issue for that compiler flags document, the issue 97.
Okay.
And then there might be some good training content potentially for the SIG and whatnot, but that's kind of outside of this scope for today. Anything else either of the two of you would like to discuss today?
Nothing for me.
So thank you, Christine, to you and Jay for stepping up and leading the DEI team for the education SIG. I will get a GitHub or a doodle set up, and I'll shoot it over to you and Jay to look at, to kind of work out what times you want in it.
Okay.
And we'll send that out the first week of January and see if we can get some more participants. But I thought you had some pretty active folks in your call. That was very exciting.
Yeah, and thank you for setting it up in such a short amount of time, so that
Great.
actually smoothed.
You're very
everything
welcome.
out. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I think that'll be nice. It's an important area, and to actually have a specific focus, I think will help us get outcomes sooner.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else? All right. Well, I wish you all a wonderful set of holidays, depending on what you believe. Christmas, Hanukkah, Boxing Day, all kinds of great holidays. Boxing Day used to be my favorite day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boxing Day here.
Because I used to take my team out and we would go brew beer just as an excuse. So I would give it to them as a free holiday, so they didn't take it out of their PTO and we go brew beer.
We were trying to
good
figure
day.
out the origin of Boxing Day, so that's good.
It's a Commonwealth thing, isn't it? Something
Yeah,
with UK.
Yeah,
think-
something related to that. It still wasn't clear even when we read Wikipedia.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a great set of holidays. Have a quiet end of year. Happy end of year meeting, Dan. My last call. I'll see you all in 2023.
Yeah.
All right, see you too. Bye.
Now, bye.
Cheers.